Welcome to the all-new Hoop Nova, your ultimate source for everything basketball.
The criticism surrounding Caitlin Clark has reached a level that goes far beyond normal sports debate. Fans have always argued about her style of play, whether she complains too much to officials or whether she exaggerates contact to draw fouls. Those conversations happen with almost every superstar. NBA players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic have faced similar accusations for years. But the latest comments aimed at Clark crossed into an entirely different territory. The controversy began after two plays that quickly spread across social media. In the first, Chelsea Gray drove to the basket, scored, and Clark fell while trying to draw an offensive foul. Many viewers believed it was a flop. A few days later, Clark again appeared to exaggerate contact while defending against another player, leading to more criticism online. Normally, that would have been the end of the discussion. Fans would argue, analysts would debate, and everyone would move on. Instead, columnist Nancy Armour made an argument that shocked many basketball fans. She suggested that Clark's flopping and constant appeals to referees could contribute to dangerous reactions from certain parts of her fan base. Armour pointed out that a racist message had been sent to Chelsea Gray after one of the games and argued that some extremists view Clark as someone who needs to be defended because she is a white player in a league made up mostly of black women. That is where the conversation exploded. Most people agree that racist messages sent to players are unacceptable. No athlete deserves harassment, and fans who cross that line should face consequences. In fact, reports indicated that one individual responsible for sending racist messages lost his job after being identified. However, many people questioned whether it was fair to place any responsibility on Clark for the actions of strangers on the internet. The debate became even more intense when historical references were introduced into the discussion. Critics argued that connecting a basketball player's on-court behavior to tragic events from American history was an enormous leap. To many observers, it shifted the focus away from basketball entirely and placed an unrealistic burden on Clark to control how anonymous people behave online. That raises an important question. Should athletes be held responsible for every offensive comment made by someone claiming to be their fan? Most people would probably answer no. Professional athletes can encourage respectful behavior, condemn racism, and speak against harassment, but they cannot monitor millions of followers or stop every hateful message posted on social media. Expecting any player to control the actions of anonymous internet users is nearly impossible. The situation also highlights how polarizing Caitlin Clark has become since entering the WNBA. From the moment she was drafted, she has generated more attention than almost any player in league history. Every highlight, every foul, every technical complaint, and every difficult game becomes national news. That level of attention creates enormous support, but it also creates enormous criticism. Some people believe Clark receives too much media coverage compared to other talented players. Others argue that she has helped bring unprecedented attention, television ratings, and sponsorship opportunities to the league. Regardless of where someone stands, there is little debate that Clark has transformed the visibility of women's basketball. Her career has also been far from smooth. After entering the league with massive expectations, she experienced incredible highs and frustrating lows. She delivered spectacular performances, including triple-doubles and explosive scoring nights that reminded everyone why she became one of college basketball's biggest stars. But injuries interrupted her momentum, and inconsistent shooting stretches gave critics plenty of material. For a while, some analysts questioned whether the hype had been exaggerated. They argued that dominating college basketball does not automatically translate to professional success. Others even claimed she would never become the superstar many predicted. Yet Clark continued working through those struggles. Even after difficult stretches, her popularity barely declined. Television ratings for her games consistently outperformed many other WNBA broadcasts, showing that public interest remained remarkably strong despite injuries and inconsistent performances. That popularity has become another source of frustration for some critics. While other stars produce excellent seasons with far less attention, Clark often dominates headlines regardless of whether she plays well or poorly. Supporters see that as proof of her unique impact on the sport. Critics see it as evidence that the media focuses too heavily on one player. As Clark has returned to form, she has reminded everyone why expectations were so high in the first place. Her scoring has improved, her confidence has returned, and she continues to stretch defenses with deep shooting range and creative passing. Every strong performance reignites excitement among her supporters, while reigniting criticism from those who believe she is overhyped. One thing is certain: Caitlin Clark remains one of the most discussed athletes in basketball. Debate about her game will continue, and criticism is part of being a superstar. But many fans believe those discussions should stay focused on basketball itself, not extend to assigning responsibility for the actions of anonymous individuals or drawing comparisons to historical tragedies. As Clark's career continues to evolve, the spotlight around her shows no signs of fading. Caitlin Clark's season has become another reminder of why she remains one of the biggest attractions in basketball. After working through injuries and inconsistent stretches, she's back producing at an elite level. She currently ranks among the league leaders in scoring while also sitting near the top in assists, proving she can impact games as both a scorer and a playmaker. More importantly, her shooting efficiency has climbed back to where it was before her mid-season slump, showing that her confidence has fully returned. Some fans compare Clark to Stephen Curry, but not because they believe she's the greatest player ever. The comparison has always been about excitement. Curry changed basketball because every possession felt unpredictable. Clark brings that same sense of anticipation. The moment she crosses half court, fans believe something incredible could happen. That doesn't mean everyone thinks she's the best player in the WNBA. Many analysts argue that younger stars like Paige Buchers or Olivia Miles could eventually become even better players. That's a fair basketball discussion. Great players can exist at the same time without one taking away from another. But Clark continues to build a resume filled with performances that very few players in league history have ever matched. Her latest masterpiece was another example. Against Seattle, Clark erupted for 45 points and 10 assists while knocking down 6 three-pointers. She accomplished the feat in only 29 minutes, becoming the first player in WNBA history to record at least 40 points and 10 assists in a single game. Nights like that explain why television audiences continue tuning in whenever she plays. Her popularity isn't based solely on statistics. It's about entertainment. Every game carries the possibility of a logo three-pointer, a no-look pass, or a scoring explosion that instantly dominates social media. That popularity, however, has also placed her at the center of nearly every controversy. One incident that gained massive attention involved Sophie Cunningham during a game against the Phoenix Mercury. After Clark believed she had been fouled without getting a whistle, emotions boiled over, resulting in a technical foul. Cunningham's animated reaction quickly went viral, adding fuel to an already heated rivalry. A few days later, another physical game against Phoenix created even more headlines. During a loose ball play, Alyssa Thomas made heavy contact with Clark, and many fans believed the officials failed to protect the league's biggest star. Although disciplinary action eventually followed, supporters argued that the punishment came too late and questioned whether Clark receives consistent treatment from officials. Beyond the court, another debate centered on Nike's handling of Clark's signature shoe. Despite becoming one of the most recognizable names in women's basketball before entering the WNBA, her signature sneaker arrived much later than many fans expected. Some believe Nike delayed the release to balance relationships with other star athletes already signed to the company, while others argued the timing reflected broader marketing decisions rather than favoritism. Regardless of the reason, the discussion highlighted something that has followed Clark throughout her career. Nearly every decision involving her becomes a national debate. Whether it's officiating, media coverage, endorsements, television ratings, or sponsorships, Clark generates attention unlike almost anyone else in basketball. That spotlight brings incredible opportunities, but it also creates constant scrutiny. Every great performance strengthens her supporters' arguments, while every poor shooting night gives critics fresh material. Few athletes operate under that level of pressure. One thing is clear, though. Caitlin Clark continues to be one of the most exciting players in the sport. Whether people admire her game or criticize the attention she receives, she remains impossible to ignore. Every time she steps onto the court, basketball fans know they might witness something historic, and that is exactly why the conversation around her shows no signs of slowing down.